Okay guys, welcome to this live call today where we're going to be talking about protein. Now this video is going out exclusively into our 21-day challenge group. The reason we spend Tuesdays talking about nutrition because obviously it's a really important part of getting results. It's an important part of education around what you should be eating and why. And what I always see is a little bit of a gap with the kind of education systems, the knowledge that is passed on from nutritionists and from personal trainers and people that are generally helping people with their health and fitness goals, is that actually teaching people about nutrition is often overlooked. So I'm going to do a video on this later, actually. It's going to go out onto YouTube, but there is a worrying trend within the fitness and health industry where everybody's going into like argument mode, where everyone's having an argument with somebody else, right? And there's some fundamentals that we know, when I say we, us in nutrition, us in health, we know within our own space, there are some scientifically proven areas, okay? There's lots that aren't, but there are some areas that we know are true, okay? Some of the fundamentals that we know are true around macronutrients, around micronutrients, and it will lend itself to educating our 21-day challenges around these key topics. So we're going to be doing each week now a different subject around nutrition on a Tuesday, okay? And today we're going to talk about protein. Now, we all kind of have an idea about what protein is. We understand a bit about it. We know that maybe it's, meat stuff, but also it's been vilified within social media, within, the tabloid newspapers of this country, and potentially, in other countries, but I can only comment on the UK, but it's been vilified because, there was a whole, I want to be careful how I talk here, so this is not taken the wrong way. There was a trend, let's just say, in, the vegan kind of methodology around eating, okay? Now, any methodology that comes out, whether it is the 500 calorie diet, whether it's veganism, whether it's, carnivore, whether it's all the different versions of, Cambridge diet, cabbage soup diet, if it's extreme, then chances are it is an extreme version of how to do things, okay? If you're an extreme person, then clearly those will work for you because they're extremes, right? The problem with extremes is that it's so far down one rabbit hole that it's sometimes unsustainable for people because most people aren't extreme. They want something that is fairly balanced and makes sense and is logical and works for them. The other issue is that you're kind of creating you're creating a lot more tension towards people that aren't following this methodology. There was a period in time about 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, where if you spoke about meat or protein, you were literally shot down in the comments. So I feel that trend that's happened, it's now kind of gone and passed a little bit. Vilified protein and vilified, that as an energy source, okay? Now, physiologically, as in from the body, from the system, we need protein. Full stop, proven, okay? The reason we need protein is because without it, we can't build hormones, we can't synthesize hormones within the body, we cannot build muscle, we cannot kind of build strong bones and ligaments and joints, okay? And that's fact. So if you're under the impression that you don't need protein and your body's maybe different to everybody else's, I can categorically say that you do need protein in your body, okay? The same as we need fat, the same as we need water is an extreme version, but the same thing, we need it in our bodies, okay? If you don't put protein into your body, there will be a negative impact on that. Your bones will become weaker, you will lose muscle, you will have problems with hormone balance and hormone regulation, and there's not a huge amount of upside to cutting protein out of your diet completely. In fact, if you're trying to recover and grow stronger, you're going to need it, Okay, so again, any extremity, any extreme version of this that tells you shouldn't be eating protein, or you can get your protein from leaves and stuff like that, just be conscious, just be cautious. Not telling you what to do, but go away, do your own research, have a little read about what the body needs. So let's get into the kind of a few basic facts around protein. So protein is built up from amino acids. I'm just going to bring this website up actually as a little kind of cue to I've been having a read of it this morning. It's a good website actually. It's from the Australian government, so it's around their kind of health website. I'd say it's better than the UK one, so I'm just going to throw that out there. But if you look at the kind of image at the top, what you're seeing is that these are your protein sources. Okay, so if you don't really know what protein sources there are, these are them. Okay, so you've got your chicken, your beef, and your pork there. So these are obviously your meat sources. You've got fish there as well. You've got eggs there, and then we kind of get into the subcategories. Legumes, nuts, seeds. Dairy's pretty good, and then into your kind of pulses and lentils. Okay, now, I don't mean that in a derogatory term. People have watched this and go, "Well, that's derogatory." It's just factual. Okay, if you look at, so if we go down to right, so if we look at this part here, which is then into sources of protein. Okay, so when we look at animal products, the amino acid complex of them is ideal. It's a high quality protein source. Okay, it's known as a complete protein. What it means is that all of the amino acid profiles, all of the 11 amino acids, are present in that food. Okay, there's also a subhead into that, is that also they're full of, depends on what you have, but good quality fats. They're full of lots of energy. They're full of lots of vitamins and minerals that our body needs to grow. Okay, when it comes to amino acids, there's 11 in total, and there's nine amino acids that the body can't make. The rest of them your body can make. They're called essential and non-essential. So those 9 amino acids that the body cannot make need to be absorbed from food. When you eat an animal protein, especially, people don't hear this, but beef is the best version. If you look at it from a micronutrient level, from an amino acid profile, from bioavailability, it's the best. And you can argue that till the cows come home, but I didn't mean to use the word cow, that just came out. It's the best. Okay, whatever your kind of beliefs are around how much we have, if it's too much, I get that, but just as a pure and simple fact, the amino acid profile and the bioavailability makes it one of the best. Okay, when it comes down to your quote unquote subcategories, things like soy products, quinoa, leafy greens, amaranth as well, they also have all of the essential amino acids. They won't have the same micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals that the animal proteins will have. There's an argument around bioavailability and how well the gut can actually break those down. And also something to consider is that when you're going to the world of grains and seeds and nuts and soya, if it's not been produced to the very high standards, same as meat, we have the same argument about meat. If you're eating premium quality meat that's been butchered well, been looked after well, it's not been full of chemicals. When it comes to these products, the soy products especially, most of it has been highly sprayed. So there's a lot of kind of pesticides put onto it. There's going to be a lot of chemicals put into the actual process. So again, go away, do some research, see what you think. Okay, but there's things that we know to be true, and I just want to articulate those as best that I can. This is a very tentative subject. Some people will watch this video and say I'm chatting nonsense. I'm not. Do some research, have a look around. And then we've got your plant proteins, your beans, lentils, nuts, and whole grains. These are called incomplete protein, which means that if you just have, for example, just some wheat, or you have some type of grain, or you have just beans or lentils, it won't give you the full amino acid profile. So what they often do is they will mix these two varieties together to give that full full kind of profile of the amino acids. Okay, the thing to be be aware of if you are a vegetarian. Okay, vegetarians generally would eat some dairy and maybe some eggs, so they can get, the full amino acid profile with other benefits from those subsections. If we go more into the vegan diet, and this is what kind of upset me a little bit, and a lot of people within my industry, a lot of people within my team, is that the way veganism was presented was that you can just eat vegetables and it's all going to be okay, without telling you actually that you will be missing amino acids, you will be missing certain vitamins and minerals, and you're going to struggle with fat. So unless you're eating quite a few avocados throughout the day, you're not going to get any other sources of fat generally. Obviously you can use olive oil, but the way that it was presented was that you needed no education around food, you could just become a vegan, it's all okay. If you're a vegan, you have to understand what your body needs and the fact that you probably is going to have to supplement. Okay, if you look at anyone that's a vegan and is in pretty good shape and has a very good, blood profile when they have it taken, they'll be supplementing and they'll have a deep understanding of how they mix pulses and grains, how they mix vitamins and minerals, and make sure they get everything they need in their body. Okay, I know lots of people that have gone on to a vegan diet, which in my opinion is another extreme diet, and have had complications. Okay, all extreme diets, one way or the other, will have some kind of issue. Okay, so the more educated you are around these subjects, the more reading you do, the more informed you are around actual key facts that we know, the better choices you can make around what works for you. Okay, when it comes to your grains and your seed oil, stuff like that, there's a lot of research that you should start reading around inflammation, something called the Randall cycle, so creating inflammation within the body, which we're starting to see, that come out with processed foods and, the processed oils that are inside there, that kind of issues as well. So something to just put as a subset of this is, when you're looking at your seeds and your grains and your soya products, it's not necessarily the most natural thing that you should be basing all of your diet off of. Okay, I'll leave it there because we can go down a rabbit hole with this. So we've got the amino acid profiles, we've got essential and non-essential amino acids, and we need to make sure we understand what the best versions are of protein for our bodies, and also understanding how much is enough. Now, it depends on which country you go to and which website you go to, which will tell you how much protein you need per day. Just a quick observation. I'm on the Australian website here, right? So if you look at here, they've got a little table here which tells you, for example, if you're a man and you're 19 to 50, you should have 3 portions of protein per day. If you're a woman and you're 19 to 50, you should have 2.5 portions of protein per day. Doesn't really tell you, it gives you a bit of a brief overview of what this looks like, okay? Because a website from the government tells you, and this is the same as the UK government, in fact I think ours are a little lower than that. There's a real kind of check out the UK website and protein recommendations. It's very low in my mind. When it comes to the amount of protein you should have, it's a question we get all the time. Okay, just because you're given a minimum, okay, it doesn't mean that's the optimum. Same when it comes to vitamins. A lot of the guidance that lives and survives now is based on RNIs and RDAs from the UK government, and unfortunately they give you a base level. They're based on how much vitamin C do I need to not get scurvy. Okay, I hear all the time people come to me and they say, hey, I'm taking enough vitamin C, I'm taking 30 milligrams per day. Okay, that is a very small amount, and it probably will stop you from getting scurvy, but it's not optimized. It doesn't take into consideration things like how stressed are you? How much do you weigh? How old are you? Have you had any health conditions? Have you had your DNA taken? Are there issues in your body that you didn't know about? What's your blood profile like? How does your body process that vitamin? How much do you exercise? How much stress, environmental stress are you under? How many chemicals do you have in your life? It doesn't take any of that into consideration. It just shows you a base level. Okay, so same thing with protein. Telling someone that, for example, you know, a 30-year-old man, he should have 3 portions of protein per day, which on here kind of says 65 grams of, you know, lean meat, for example, 3 times per day. That's a tiny portion, right? We're talking like this, okay? If that same person that's 30 trains 5 times a week, works in a very stressful job, travels a lot, you know, they've had this issue with kind of, you know, mental health issue, etc., that person, does it make sense that person's probably going to need a bit more amino acids to build his body the way that he wants to, okay? So all of these numbers, all these facts and figures, they give you a rough guideline. And generally speaking, when you go onto a governmental website, it will be based on how much do you need to not have a problem, not how much do I need to optimize my performance, to optimize my results, okay? It's all based around how little do I need, okay? So when you're reading this kind of website, just bear that in mind, okay? There's lots of different websites out there. If you go on a bodybuilding website, of course, it's going to make it even higher. It's just you want to kind of test with yourself, test what works for you, okay? I often hear people say, you know, I can't eat that amount of protein, it's too much for me. That's fine. There's another argument we have, which is we've never had it before, so it's going to take a little while to get used to it, okay? What also happens when you start to increase the amount of protein you eat, especially if it's an animal protein, animal source, your body won't be great at having the enzyme in your gut to break that food down. So the more regularly you have that, same with fat as well, your body will get more used to producing that enzyme. You'll get better at kind of breaking that food down. So protease, for example, your body will get better at producing that as you start to eat protein more regularly. Across the board, and I hear this all the time, I'm told all the time that we eat too much protein in the Western world, okay? I'm commenting on a very small circle of people here. We help a lot of business people, a lot of people in London generally. And in my experience, and I've done it for 19 years, most people I speak to don't eat enough protein, okay? Yes, you know, some people in the Western world eat 15 portions of sausage and pork and processed crap a day, but most people I speak to, you know, UK based, rushing around, generally will have things like carbs, cereal for breakfast, they'll have a piece of toast, they'll have a sandwich with cheese in it, they'll have a croissant, they'll have pasta. Not once have I mentioned any type of protein, okay? Now, when you undereat on protein, you're going to struggle to hold on to fat, you're always going to feel hungry, you're not going to feel satiated, you're going to struggle potentially down the line with things like, brittle bone problems where your bones are getting weak, cartilage and damage around your joints as well. So it's something you need to consider, okay? Right, I've done 20 minutes there, and you know, I want to make sure that I keep it short and sweet and it's not too heavy, because we can go right deep into this, but you can kind of get a bit more of a handle on what protein is, where you get it from, what amino acids are, kind of what they do. And then from that, you can then go away and do your own research and see what works for you. Quick caveat, doing research within the nutrition space is a minefield, okay? When I'm doing nutritional courses, when I'm running nutritional courses, when I'm taking nutritional courses, even in the courses, they ask us to take an evidence-based view on nutrition, okay? Unless you've got a really good background in nutritional basics, and you've got a good background in understanding peer-reviewed studies and how to read data and research, just Googling stuff is going to be more confusing than it is enlightening, okay? So if you want to really get deep on it, you can go to the British Medical Journal, you can go into nutritional journals and actually start to read the research and make your own mind up. But chances are you're either too busy or you don't have enough interest in it. So you've kind of got to take videos like this, take it as your base, and then find what works for you, okay? We're called Truth for a reason. We want to be very honest with people and not push our methodology down people's necks, but just inform people to say, hey, look, this has worked for a lot of people. These are the basics of nutrition. Here's an approach that will probably work for you. All right. Hope you found that helpful, guys, and we'll speak very soon. Cheers then.